The Daytona 500 on Fox is brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you? UPS, the official delivery company of NASCAR, delivers a chance to win 4 tickets to next year's Daytona 500. Log on to foxsports.com, keyword UPS Racing. We're talking about Sterling Marlin and the penalty that he just served. Mike Helton, the president of NASCAR, addressed the drivers' meeting and told them just what to expect if they went below the yellow line.
Some of you have figured out that in order to protect your spot, you can move down and right against the yellow line and to keep somebody from going around you on the inside. That's okay. But if you do it while that guy is trying to get around you, if you move him down there when he's got a quarter panel or a fender up alongside of you, in our opinion, if you've made him go down there, that he can't check up quick enough to get in behind you, if you've made him go down there, then you're subject to a black flag too.
That is how the rule was explained. Let's go back down to Sterling's pit. Steve Burns.
With crew chief Lee McCall. Now, Lee, we saw you pleading your case to the officials on pit road. What did they say?
Well, I guess they said we passed below the yellow line, but we were forced down there, and, you know, we'll just see what we can get here. Hopefully we'll get a caution to stay on the lead lap. But it's an unfortunate situation, and hopefully we can get something out of it.
Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
And Steve, an update on Dale Earnhardt Jr. back on lap 75. He said the volts are now down to 9.5. Last time by, he says it's at the edge of the gauge. They're just going to tell him to keep riding it out. They're hoping the next band of showers hit while they're still up front.
His father tried to win this race for 19 years and had everything possible go wrong. Cut tire on the last lap. Seagull hit the oil cooler. You name it. Finally, on the 20th try, Dale Earnhardt was successful in winning the 500.
And I'm sure now, Darrell, he's cut everything off except the engine. That's the only thing needing a power supply right now. But to go back and talk about Sterling Marlin, we've been watching his lap times. He's running like 49.90 to 50 flat. The pack is running 49 flat. So he's getting beat a second lap. Right now, he's almost 5 to 6 seconds ahead of that group, which means in 5 to 6 laps, he will be lapped.
And back about Dale Jr., here's the thing I always say. A driver, in my opinion, you have a luck bank. You know, you start off the year with it full of luck. And he has used an awful lot of it down here so far this week. And I hope he's not overdrawn.
Keep running best you can. Looks like some more rain's coming this way. Just keep running if you can.
That's his spotter, Ty Norris, talking to Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And look at that front pack. Waltrip Jr., Tony Stewart, Kurt Busch, who won 3 of the season's last 5 races, and behind them, look at this pack double file. Todd Bodine getting overhauled by the 2 Childress cars, Kevin Harvick and Robbie Gordon, now working together.
And, you know, that's good to see because I got this sense watching those 2 in the beginning of the race. They weren't working together like they should. But now it looks like they are. But I bet you Richard Childress had something to do with it by talking to both of them, possibly during that red flag.
I think during that red flag that Mr. Childress probably had those boys over in his red truck talking to them.
How about Jerry Nadeau? A Danbury, Connecticut ex-road racer who restarted 18th, and now he has that Army tank humming along in 5th place.
And speaking of Army tank, went over to Afghanistan a few weeks ago and actually drove a tank and spent about a week over with our troops just a few miles from the enemy lines.
How'd it handle?
Like a tank. Pushed like a dump truck, he said.
Pushed like a dump truck.
Nadeau replacing Ken Schrader at MB2 Motorsports this year in that Pontiac.
I'd really like to see us go long green here, even make a green flag pit stop and come back out, because we heard Jeff Gordon talk about long runs. I'm really good, and I think that's going to be what's going to make the difference in this race if we can stay under green and make some long runs.
You'd like to see that? Sterling Marlin wouldn't. He wants a caution flag.
No, they've got him in his sights now. It won't be long now. They'll be up there and putting him a lap down. But he's got a good car. He can hang tight. And if a caution comes out, he can get back on the lead lap.
What's the leader looking for, Dick?
Well, Michael Waltrip is playing the range strategy, Mike. That's why they came in and just took gas only, no tires. That was a real quick pit stop. That's how come he's in the lead. But without taking those tires, the car has gotten a little bit loose. They have just enough gas to go to about the halfway point, at which point they hope it starts to rain and they'll win the race.
15 laps to halfway.
Look up on the outside there.
At that point, the race would become official if it has to be halted.
This is the first time we've seen cars go to the outside and make passes, and that's what we really need. And I think Kevin Harvick's going to pull them right on up there.
And there you see our fuel gauges. A while ago, we saw them full. Now you see them, they're getting down there. But, Darrell, I think the secret to that outside line right now is there's 4 good race cars up there. Kevin Harvick, who just went to the bottom and left his teammate at the top, Robbie Gordon, and the 2 Hendrick cars of Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon is up there as well.
Harvick looks awful good down that outside. I mean, down here last week in the Bud Shootout, Dale Jr. made all his passes on the outside. This is what we need. Look at this. If we can go long green, look at Michael. He jumps over in front of Harvick. Now, see you, Dale Jr.
Kurt Busch makes it 3 wide as he tries to sneak through the middle.
Now let's see if Robbie Gordon, the 31, yeah, he's going to slide. Look, well, he looked like he was wanting to try to slide in that bottom groove.
Oh, business is picking up, Larry. Business is picking up.
Not for Dale Earnhardt Jr., though, Matt Yoakum.
DW, he says the car is starting to cut on and off. In fact, the last lap, he told his spotter, Ty Norris, to talk to Tony Stewart's spotter. Tell him that my car is starting to cut on and off. He's hitting me. I don't want him to spin me out. He is waving. He's going to pit. You can see his hand waving in the monitor. He's going to pit next time by. One of, if not the best car during speed weeks, may have lost his chance for a Daytona 500 victory.
Your battery needs to maintain a certain amount of voltage to fire those spark plugs. And Junior doesn't have enough fire.
And there's so many things about a race car. It always amazes me how they run 3.5 hours, 500 miles, and everything works. You know, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts on that sucker out there going 190 miles an hour. So it's pretty surprising when nothing goes wrong.
He does not pit. Junior stays out on the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean,
on Fox tracks, his speed, 176 miles an hour. A little bit off the pace, not badly off the pace, but that problem likely will not improve itself.
It's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. But what he's trying to do is...
Without losing a lap there, Tony, which I know you'll lose one, but I'm telling you, the weather's moving.
This is the dilemma. You know,
You'll be in last anyway in another lap, so let's just put a battery in it.
That's Junior.
We're 12 laps from the halfway. What they're trying to do is nurse that thing to see if we can get to halfway. And this is a lot of things going on. You have the weather coming, your battery's going dead, and you're trying to make that decision. Do we come to pit road, do it now, or do we try to wait?
Now. The call is now.
Yeah, and they've caught Sterling. He's getting ready to go a lap down. I thought he might be the fly in the ointment here as Michael got to him. That Harvick might be able to get to the outside of Michael, but Michael's putting a block on him. But here goes Harvick up on the outside.
There you see the battery right there with the quick disconnect. They're going to try to get that battery in there without losing as much time as they can.
Now, Tony Stewart's the key. What's he going to do down the back?
Harvick outside, Waltrip inside. The left rear off, Matt.
Mike J. Guarneri going to work on the left rear. He's got the tire off. He's getting the battery out. They're going to change the battery. Now it's just a question of how much time he is going to lose, how fast they can get this battery changed. If they can still hold on, not lose enough time, so they can still try to keep their hopes for a win alive. As the pack goes by in the front stretch, Junior refires the car. Jay still working hard underneath the left rear fender well, losing so much valuable time.
We had a great battle for the lead, but Kevin Harvick lost his teammate. Robbie Gordon dropped way back, and that was the end of Harvick's charge up the outside.
But look how Sterling Marlin, who's fighting to stay on the lead lap, is pulling these guys around here. He's holding them off. He's got a fast car. We know that. He can be the guy that really makes a difference on who's going to lead this race.
So if a caution flag would come out right now, Marlin would get a free pass and come all the way around. If Michael Waltrip gets past him, Sterling is stuck a lap down.
And, you know, he had enough momentum, Darrell, and he was fast enough. He's protecting the bottom. I think Michael may be content to ride there with him.
Well, they're not. Their lap times are good. They haven't slowed down any. And Sterling's really not affecting them one way or another. I just think that Michael might get in trouble by trying to get around him.
Now, Dale Earnhardt Jr., he just come off pit road. He's going to go 2 laps down, so he's going to be well more than 2 laps down.
1 minute and 7 second pit stop. Trying to come back up to speed.
And that car still sounds flat.
91 laps complete. 9 laps to halfway. Michael Waltrip leads the Daytona 500 on Fox.